I've recently rejoined the car ownership club, and I wanted to have a short discussion on that. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76, my original channel. Please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe. So, as I always say here on this channel, now I discuss general topics, thoughts of the day, and in some instances, one of my favorite topics, financial literacy and money. So I recently rejoined the car ownership club. So I have been without a car since 2012. I might throw this up on Facebook, and I might not. As my dad always says, it's not everybody's business. So I might just leave this here on YouTube and throw it up on Twitter. But then again, I might throw it up on Facebook just for shits and giggles, just to see how everyone will react to it, because I've been without a car for so long. I wrote a blog post about this on my blogging platform. I'm going to leave that in the description box below. And what happened was, when I was writing for Examiner.com, I think I wrote a whole series called I Don't Have a Car, or something to that effect, and I thought that for my blogging platform, it was something worth revisiting, as one of my topic areas is financial literacy / money. That series was inspired by a lady friend at the church I go to, and we talked for a short period of time and then abruptly stopped for a very good reason. And she had seen me several times after that, after service, and jokingly asked me, "Do you have a car yet?" And I repeatedly told her no. And so the reason why, and this is all discussed in the blog post, but there were a number of reasons why I took my time before rejoining the car ownership club, and I'm just going to name off a couple of them. When my first two cars were used, and I got those when I was in school, and still working on my scientific training. So I wasn't far into my career, and I didn't have a level of financial stability. So one of the worst feelings you can feel, in my opinion, is hearing something on your car break and then wondering where you're gonna get the money, or how you're gonna budget the money to get whatever it is fixed. And so when I donated my old Saturn, I told myself I never want to feel that feeling again. I never want to have that heartburn and that anxiety in terms of wondering, how am I going to get this muffler fixed? How am I going to get these brakes fixed? Or what am I going to have to go without for the next couple of weeks to get the transmission fixed? Or am I going to have to take out a loan to get the transmission fixed? I never wanted that feeling again. So, I wanted to have a nice, healthy emergency fund. I think there are some references in that blog post to Dave Ramsey and Dave Ramsey's teachings regarding having an emergency fund. I wanted to get some investments going. So when I donated my Saturn, my retirement wasn't fully funded, and so I had no money compounding. I wrote a blog post on the law of compounding interest. I'm going to leave that in the description box below. There are a lot of people who don't know how they're going to retire when that time comes, and I didn't want to be in that club. I wanted some discretionary investments going as well. So I wanted to be in the stock market. I wanted to know what that was like to have a portfolio. And I remember at our Financial Peace University class, one of my co-instructors, or several of them, I said that over and over again. I want to get in the stock market. And I don't think these ladies understood why that was important and what the significance of that was. So I wanted to have a few things in place and going before I picked up a car, because a car, especially a new one, while it's a fun toy to have, and that's what it is, it's a toy, and in some instances if you have a luxury car, it's a more fancy toy, but it's a depreciable item. So it's going to steadily lose value the longer you have it. It's going to break down. Everything on your car has a life. The tires, the timing belt, the parts of the suspension, the gaskets, the hoses, the transmission. Everything on that car has a life and is going to need to be fixed or replaced at some point. So that's something else that I know now going in that I didn't really understand and appreciate in my early 20s. So I very much feel a sense of calm and a sense of just a sense of calm this time around, because I've been through all this stuff already and I have a really good idea of what to expect. Everything's going to break down. It's not an asset, it's a liability. It's a depreciable item. So for the second part of this video, I'm going to talk about what led me to decide to acquire a vehicle and what led to my rationale for not owning a vehicle for those 8 years. So if you haven't, please like this video, as the likes are free and they help my channel to grow. So I won't disclose what exactly I got. I won't disclose the maker, the model, or the year, but I will discuss what made me decide to get something. Put simply, it was COVID-19. And also the fact that, in my opinion, I could safely afford to own one. So prior to me acquiring a vehicle, I live right next to the metro in the Washington, D.C. area. And so that's something that I banked on when I moved into the place where I currently live. My car was older, and as soon as I saw this listing come up when I was searching for a place to live, and I saw that this was right next to the metro, I told my real estate agent, let's put in an offer for that place because that's right next to the metro. I have an older car, and it'll probably break down sometime soon, and I still need a way to get around. So I used the metro heavily. I used the Zipcar program, which is a rideshare program. And then once Uber and Lyft became prevalent, I started using Uber and Lyft. And so that was fine for, 8 years. It wasn't always easy, but as I described in the first part of this video, I had some longer term plans and some longer term objectives. Now, once COVID-19 started, it became less safe to share transportation with everyone else. So it became less safe to get on the metro, and metro service actually cut back. I didn't want to be in cars that were being shared by everyone, such as Uber. And I didn't want to be, the same is true with the Zipcar. I didn't want to be in cars with everyone else. So oftentimes in life or nature or God, whatever you believe, forces an environmental or systemic change in things, and we have to evolve. So what I did was I was in regular talks with my financial team, and I put together a transportation cost analysis because I budget, which is a major part of financial literacy. Because I've been budgeting for years and years and years, I was able to go a year back, and in a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, I was able to basically calculate my transportation costs every month, and then calculate the average amount of money I was spending on transportation every month. And I realized, okay, well, I've been spending this amount every month. I can afford now to pay for car insurance and repairs and a warranty and all those different things. I can afford to pay for this now. So all of those things led to me rejoining the car ownership club. The thing about the money game is that the hard part is getting everything going at once in parallel. I could have bought a car 7 to 8 years ago, but would I have had an emergency fund? I could have bought a car 8 years ago, but would I have been able to fully fund my retirement account at that time? I could have bought a car and but would I have been able to get into the stock market and generate dividends? And then also another trick to all of this is doing all of this on these multiple levels while not overextending yourself, while not going paycheck to paycheck, and while maintaining a solid credit score. So the trick to all of this, is doing it all in parallel and not sending yourself to the poorhouse in the process, but instead strengthening your position. That's the hard part. That requires some delayed gratification, and it requires putting some things off, and in some instances, sacrificing the company of others. So, so again, it's a different thing than going paycheck to paycheck and being over leveraged. It's a very different thing, and that those things factored into my decision making. So my blog posts about my not having a car, saving and budgeting, and the law of compounding interest, and saving for retirement, those will all be in the description box below. I'm going to close this video by asking the question, what sacrifices did I have to make? Well, not owning a car. Well, when you own a car, you have the luxury of going out of your door and getting into your vehicle and going wherever you want to, whenever you want to. When you don't have a car, you're beholden to the metro. You are beholden to the reach of the metro. It's going to be hard to get to the outer lying areas here. That's the westernmost and the southernmost parts of Virginia, and the northernmost and easternmost parts of Maryland. And then on holidays, if you're going to take a road trip, you have to rent. So you're beholden to other entities. But socially, it impacts your social life as well. There have been numerous women over the years, I think, who have taken points off because I did not have a car. And I'm going to go back to one of my heroes, the great Dr. Thomas Sowell, who often says that life is a series of trade-offs. So there are certain instances and junctures in life where you have to give up something in order to get something. And that's what I decided to do. I sacrificed having the convenience of having a car for the last 8 years. And in doing so, in some instances, I sacrificed the company of certain ladies for what I saw as being greener pastures later on. A quick story, I just told my brother this the other night. There was someone here in my complex, and I'll just say that one of the first questions one of the first things she said when I told her, no, I don't have a car, was that she said, well, if we talk, she said, you're not going to be able to come help me. So that was her main concern, or that was one of her main concerns, was that the guy be able to come help her if, she needed it. And, there is some legitimacy to that. However, I would also say that when those judgments are made, the other person is often not looking at why you're doing that. And they're not looking at why it's important to have your retirement account fully funded, and why it's important to do things like get into the stock market. So I'll just leave that there. When I told my brother, he told me, not to worry about it. And I said, you know what? Yeah, I'm not worried about it. It is what it is. It's just what happens. And I talked about this over on my entertainment and media channel in my review of Ron Will's book, Nice Guys and Players. In that book, Ram discussed one of the qualities that many women have is vanity. And women want to be shown a good time and excitement and those kinds of things. So you're perceived as a man in a certain way if you don't have a car. But you have to feel secure in yourself, and you have to know why you're doing it. And you have to have a long-term goal that you're shooting for to be able to withstand that and not buckle under the pressure and feel like, okay, well, I have to go out and get a car in order to get these ladies to like me. You have to have a strong why. So was it worth it? Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, it was worth it. And I would do it again. And a really good channel, I'm going to close here, but a really good channel I would encourage viewers to go watch if you haven't is Savings Minus Debt. And that's the content creator there is LJ. And he has a lot of things to say about debt and about the decisions that I made for regarding this purchase and other purchases. He has a lot of things to say about that, and I'll just leave it there. So I would encourage you to go watch Savings Minus Debt. And if you're using debt to in large part finance your lifestyle, a lot of what LJ has to say over on that channel will shock you. But the keys to getting out of debt are over on his channel as well. So I'm going to stop there. Please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments in the comments section below. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.